but I'd never thought about it as a system. Salesforce.com was the first time that I sat down and did cold calling that way. And, at that point, it didn't work for me. At least the traditional cold call. Cold calling does work, and it still works today. It just, you have to be the right market, there's a lot of conditions. For me, it didn't work. I didn't like it. And so what I created was using email at the time, and mass email at the time, in executives to get responses. So for me, creating a system to get a lot of appointments every month without having to cold call was the idea of, I hated the term cold calling 2.0. I just couldn't think of a better one. Basically, like getting appointments
But it's easy to understand.
without having to cold call. Now, I did do a type of cold call I called mapping calls. Because in this case, again, I was selling to companies rather than individuals. And so a lot of times the hard part was finding the right person. So if you're selling to, IBM, who do you even call? Because there might have, if you're selling to the VP of sales, there might be 20 VPs of sales.
Yes.
And so I would call in and kind of ask around, like, hey, who's the like a lost lamb? I'm just a bit lost. Like, I'm trying to find, head of something or other. Like, and then I would get routed around. By the time I got referred to them, it wasn't cold anymore, because it was like the CEO's assistant would be referring me to the CTO. But I think what I'll try to do is say, look, is there a systematic way to get up quality appointments? And quality is more important than quantity. That was different than the way that people had done it blindly, which is doing lots of calls. It's like more in the past, and people still do this, which is, calling's not working, do more calls. And today's version is, emailing's not working, send more emails. We're only getting a 0.5% response rate, we'll send more. Like, come on, you got to stop back and rethink, how can we do something different so we're not just trying to do more of something that's not working? Sometimes it can be just so boring and serious. Like, why? Why can't people just like joking around, being a little silly?
That's a good question.
Being honest, and still yet having that confidence of having experience, and it's being a bit more of just a person interacting with other people versus a business person interacting with other business people. So whether that's your team, the market. So I think one of the most underused resources that a company has is not having their leader or leaders online in some way, sharing themselves. Mix of like business advice or life advice, it doesn't really matter. It's just as long as they're kind of being themselves online. And I think that's something that is missing in a way to kind of help scale themselves, to create more connection to their teams and to their market and customers digitally, because that's just where a lot of this is going. So that's one place to start. That's kind of a long answer to a question.
That's a good reflection, because I really, using myself as an example, sometimes I feel extremely tired, and I feel responsible for the company.
People.
And I don't want to show people that I'm tired. And instead of working less or taking a nap or something, I do the opposite. I work more to show them like the way I want them to go.
And naps are awesome. I mean, people should take more naps, right? I'm trying. It's like.
Are you taking a lot of naps nowadays?
Not as many as I would like. Just because like school schedules, and it's hard for me to nap.
How's your schedule today, like your daily today basis?
Pretty nice these days compared to the past. Actually, I have on YouTube, there's a couple videos. It's like if you search on YouTube for Aaron Ross Day in a Life, they're from like 3 or 4 years ago. It's just like crazy. But today it looks like I get up at 6:30 in the morning.
6:30. Okay.
Yep. School. I do most of the school, kind of get kids ready, and we have a nanny. There's help, but still, like from 6:30 to like 9 is either getting kids ready, taking kids to school, and then after that, so a lot of days there's this one 5-year-old stays at home 3 days a week, so I play with her for a while, and then I usually do some work. I don't know. There's always like stuff. There's always like shit to do. Like it's annoying. Like I have to pick up passports, or I got to drop the dogs off here and do some email. Try to go for a walk, exercise. And then there's more kids pickups, play with kids in the afternoon, dinner, put the kids to bed, talk to my wife, hopefully for a bit, and try to go to sleep. So I don't work that much right now. I do, by the way, I do need to make money, right? I started Salesforce, but not early enough. And having 10 children is a high motivation, because we spend millions of reais a year. So not $1 million US dollars, but probably close to it on the family per year for different reasons. Just, it's amazing how it adds up. It's unbelievable. So I do need to make money. But right now, this period of, it's been a couple months, there's a few months where I'm kind of taking a break, where I just don't have the energy yet. I don't feel like, it's more of like a feeling, an alignment, or how to explain, like intuition. I don't know the right word to say, like, it's just not time to kind of like dig in.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just kind of resting and try to take care of myself, mostly physically, like sleep, exercise, playing. I'm not inspired to write much.
No?
No, I do have sometimes. Like I have a newsletter and I have some things there, but the last
What
month or so,
inspires you today?
not much, honestly.
Really?
No, meeting people, maybe like meeting people in person. If I think actually meeting people in person, like got to meet Tiago when he was here. I got to meet Camila Ferrani today for the first time after texting Pierre Sherman in a couple days. Been meeting people. I'm reading a lot of like fantasy books.
Really?
So
Are you
I'm
watching
taking
Rings
some
of
fighting
Power?
classes actually.
Are you watching Rings of Power?
No, I don't watch a lot of TV much. It's just so much. It's a much bigger investment. Like by the time people are asleep or in bed, like either I just don't want to watch things usually. On the airplane, I watch some Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, I like that. But
That's great. Yeah. But like, were you always like that, or like, do you feel you were more inspired when you were
there's
younger?
definitely times I've been very inspired by things. It comes and goes, right? So very inspired to write the predictable revenue book, Eficiente, and that was over a course of years. I kind of get inspired at different times and do a blog post, and later collected them. I was inspired to do the books, just different times. It just has been, I got burned out 3 or 4 years ago between like lots of young kids, babies, lots of kids, just lots of total kids, supporting everyone physically, emotionally, financially, and trapped in a business I didn't really like in the North American, partner. So I was just burned out as a human and didn't want to create content. And I've been burned out. The pandemic helped